Hi, this is Emily Filoramo, your Success and Happiness Catalyst. This is part 3 of a 3-part video series on how to be happy and raise your self-esteem and confidence through addressing the negative core beliefs that you acquired when you were younger that you didn't even know you had, that are holding you back from health and wealth and happiness. In part 1 of this video series, we talked about how your beliefs, negative and positive, really shows up in how you are running your life right now. So if you are full of negative core beliefs and you don't value yourself, you end up taking actions that are just not inspiring to yourself or to others, and you're not reaching the level of success and happiness that you so desire. And in part 2, we talked about how some of our negative core beliefs are formed by the negative experiences that we had when we were younger. And these negative experiences had us take on parts that get buried into the dungeons of our psyche. And these are the parts of us that really make us do some of the things that we don't want to do, some of the behaviors that we don't want to do, and anger and anxiety and numbness and procrastination and perfectionism. And some of these behaviors, these feelings about ourselves cause us these yucky behaviors of eating too much and shopping too much and procrastinating and not getting us where we want to be. In other words, we're stuck. These memories from the past keep us stuck from health, wealth, and happiness. So in this video, I am going to show you how you could heal your younger parts of yourself, all by yourself. And if you're wondering, this is a model of healing that is based on internal family systems, and is a very powerful and deep model of self-healing and self-leadership that can take your life to the next level. And what I'm going to illustrate is the simplest way of looking at what this healing is all about. And for some of you that might be really traumatized by your past with addictions or behaviors that are just not serving you and you just can't cope with life, then I would encourage you to seek the help of a licensed mental health provider. So if you're good and you're stable and you want to take your life from good to great, this is how you could let go of these limiting beliefs and these negative things that you think about yourself that are no longer serving you. So here it is in a nutshell on how to heal these parts of you that are buried in the dungeons of your psyche, holding you back from the life that you want. So let's take the example of the 2-year-old that we had talked about in video 2, when your baby sister came home and your mother just didn't pay as much attention to you anymore. And so you're wanting her love, you're wanting hugs from her, but she's not giving it to you. And you're thinking, well, what's the matter? Am I not lovable? Am I not worthy? Am I not enough? And so yes, that 2-year-old self can take on those beliefs because we don't understand how hard it is for mom to be taking care of an infant and trying to take care of you. And if you have enough injuries after that in terms of rejection and abandonment from school or from other people, that just reinforces that original belief that you took on as a 2-year-old that you're not lovable and you're not worthy. So here's how you heal yourself. Take yourself back into the memory of, let's say, sitting on the floor of the living room as mom is nursing your baby sister, and you're wondering, when is she going to hug me? When is she going to pay attention to me? Did I do something wrong? So now you get to access those memories of how painful it was to be sitting there, abandoned, even though mom didn't mean to abandon you. You just have no idea because you didn't have the intellectual capacity to understand what that parenting role is all about. So now, as the highest self of today, that's buried underneath all of these parts of you, the highest self of today, as I had illustrated here in video 2, you get to go back and sit with that 2-year-old part of you and listen to the pains and how bad it was for mom to neglect you. And now you get to give that part the hugs and the love that it never got, and bring that part into your heart and give it the kisses and the love and form new memories of that original incident that caused your negative core belief of I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. That's where the healing can take place. And I think the easiest way for me to demonstrate this healing is I got an email from someone a couple of days ago that found me through an interview that I had conducted with Aaron Kennard of TrulyAmazingLife.com. Aaron is a friend of mine, and we were talking about my story And so she sent me this note, and then she downloaded my ebook on the 3 steps to instantly discard emotional baggage now that keep you stuck. And she went through the whole process. So I would encourage you to download that too after I read you her story. I listened to the podcast you had with Erin Kennard, and your story touched me deeply. It resonated with me to the core of my being. I was particularly moved by your suggestion of getting in touch with the younger self, allowing them to express and giving them the unconditional love and support they so desperately needed at the time. So, to get an access, let's say that 2-year-old. Needless to say, I've downloaded the booklet and I've been working on myself for years, but there was always seemed to be a dark cloud above my heart. So you could be working on yourself for years, but if you don't address the real stuff, it's going to continue to haunt you. Because a lot of these self-improvement courses, they're fabulous. Be grateful for what you have. Have positive affirmations. All of that stuff. That's all good. That's all going to be better if you address the original incident that caused you to have negative feelings about yourself. My cloud has always been hovering above my heart as I walked around with a broken heart. I needed to get to the root of my limiting beliefs, but your technique goes even deeper. It goes to the root of the hurt and that sponsored those limiting beliefs. So last night in the privacy of my bedroom, all by myself, I confronted one of those pains and my mother. And boy, the river started flowing. I didn't think I ever cried that intensely. Yeah, that's what can happen when you access that original pain. But you just reassure these little soldiers that it's okay to go to that pain because you're not going to stay in that pain because you're going to rescue this part from that old memory. I never realized how lonely, scared, unloved, unlovable, and misunderstood I felt as a child. I always knew what the feeling was, but once I allowed the younger self to talk and express herself, I truly, really felt her pain. And I also felt my mom's pain in her feeling alone, unsupported in her marriage. Yeah, we don't, as kids, we don't know what's going on in our parents' marriage. We don't know. And really not knowing how to respond to my needs. Yeah, that's what happens. Mom and dad, they don't know. I was left with such understanding and compassion for both of us about, most importantly, I was able to really embrace that little girl and reassure her that she was all right just the way she was. That she didn't need to change, that she would be heard and loved from here on out. And in the end, I put her in my heart where she belongs. Yeah, by going and visiting that memory, you get to put that part of you into your heart and have that part feel so safe within you. And that's going to be the new memory that you're going to form in your brain when you love yourself. The experience was intensely draining, exhausting, and emotional, but I also felt so relieved to have allowed the younger self to talk to and really forgive my mom. I was really scared to go through the process in the beginning because I really did not want to feel those feelings again. Yeah, these little soldiers protect you. Let's not go there again. But going through it once, it gives me confidence that I could face all my remaining painful moments in my past. So thank you for coming into my life, and thank you for healing myself. Then she sent me another note that said, I cannot emphasize how much this helped out, especially for someone who is struggling with forgiveness. Yeah, we all need to forgive those that have hurt us, because that is the healing process. And when you forgive, the dark cloud will lift. By stepping into the self of my mother, I was really able to feel and see her own beliefs and what really sponsored her behavior. I could really feel her own pain, struggles, and suffering, and I was finally able to detach the person from her beliefs. I could really see how her limiting and unconscious beliefs, they were driving her behavior, and she really could not help but acting the way she did. So when you understand the other person, you'll see why they're in pain. Then it was much easier to go through the forgiveness letter ritual. And once you really feel the pain and suffering of another, it almost seems impossible not to forgive. That's so important. Once you really feel the pain and suffering of another, it almost seems impossible not to forgive. And that's why this process is so powerful and so freeing. And I've never looked at my mom with those eyes of understanding and finally compassion for those that have hurt us. And it truly was amazing. And this was so monumental for her. Then she had a limiting belief from her childhood that was creating a lot of pain, and it triggered anxious responses and negative responses from others, and she didn't feel safe. And so it really all had to do with her relationship with her mom. And so she had the fear and the anxiety, and when that came up, she was able to coach herself through it, saying that I don't have to anticipate this fear and anxiety. I know what this is all about. And so she feels much better today. This is 2 days later, and I feel myself healing quickly. And I wish I had this kind of information years ago when I started working on myself. So yes, you have the power to heal yourself. And as you heard from this letter from Susan, it warms my heart to be able to share this healing methodology with you. And you can start to take yourself through the process by downloading my free ebook that is on my website, successenjoynow.com. Successenjoynow.com. You're going to get the 3 steps to instantly discard the old emotional baggage that keep you stuck. And you're also going to get the 5 magic words that are going to make you feel instantly better when someone pushes your buttons. Because there's a lot of people that push our buttons, especially some of our loved ones. And so I'll give you those tips are all in the free downloadable gifts that I have for you on my website, successenjoynow.com. So please visit the website, download your gifts, and let me know how you do with this healing process. And if you have any questions, you could always contact me through my website. And if you've enjoyed this video series, please share it with your friends and inspire them to start their healing journey. And it's not your fault you feel the way that you do. It's because of your parts.